Hi everybody, I'm Vickee with the 595 Project. I'm excited to bring to you today our new video format for our Spotlight series. Today we're doing an interview with Erin Hasler of Ija Designs, a major talent here in Bend, Oregon, a great jewelry designer with an amazing story. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, Ija Designs, how'd you come up with the name? What does it stand for?
So Ija stands for the Iron-Jawed Angels, who were a group of suffragists who won women the right to vote in the 1920s. And you know, when I was thinking of a name for my business, my last name is Hasler, so obviously that wasn't an option.
Hasler Designs.
Exactly. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. So I really wanted something that represented who I was as a woman and what my thoughts were with my business. And for me, it was a way to make a nod to the women who came before me. And if it wasn't for them, there's no way that a tattooed mother would be able to run her own business in our society. Yeah. And so that's what it stands for.
So were you familiar with this particular contingent, or was it just something that you researched and you found the Ija concept, or had you studied?
You know, I in college was a women's studies major, and so
there you go.
That was, but I had just, right about the time that I started the business, had just seen a documentary HBO did, well, not a documentary, but a film about their lives. And so I had just seen it, and I liked that it was really short and succinct and clean, again, minimalistic and clean. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
How did you first start marketing your jewelry? I mean, I think you could be wonderfully inspirational to so many women who have this talent and this passion, but then it's always about taking it to the next level, which is the big girl step. I mean, that's always hard. You know, how did you get to the marketing piece of Ija and the beautiful things that you make?
You know, that I have to say was probably the most difficult for me, even though I come from a background in marketing. For me, I can push someone else's product all day long, but Ija is my art, and I'm a very shy person, and I'm not, I'm very humble, and so it's hard for me to really push my own product. But it actually was just very happenstance. I had done my very first trade show. I went to Los Angeles. My son was still a little tiny infant, and so I had the breast pump in tow, and
of course
my girlfriend and I went and we did this trade show, and it was a total flop. It was awful, like the worst show ever. And we were like destitute. But I made one account there, and that one account was an online store, and from that account I got in contact with a PR woman from back east. She contacted me and fell in love with the line, and so I worked with a PR company initially, and there was a phenomenal response to it, and it just grew from there.
That must have been really exciting.
It was. It was amazing. It was, for me, it was, you know, she would call me and say, oh, we just had a meeting with Women's Wear Daily, and, you know, they're in love with your arrow ring, and, you know, In Style magazine wants you to send 15 pairs of this earring over, and it was just incredible to me. It was remarkable. I was interviewed by In Style for a feature on the earrings that you're wearing, actually.
Oh, very good.
And it was hilarious because I was driving out to Prineville to take care of my grandmother at the time, and so I had to pull over literally in a ditch in a cow pasture to take this call, and I'm on the phone with the accessories editor from In Style magazine, just chatting away, giving advice, and they're like cows like 2 feet from the side of my
But isn't it great, though, in today's business environment that you don't have to have this, you know, formal setting to have everything look and appear as though everything is pristine and normal, and you just sashay into your office or into your studio. I mean, that's really what's great about business today, is that you can conduct it and make things happen in any way that it just happens to develop. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think it does a disservice, especially in my mind, to working mothers, to have this image that we all have it together, and that we're, you know, in our gorgeous, immaculate studios, and our children are put together just so, and we have all the, like, it's not that way.
No.
It's just not. That's not reality.
No.
So yeah, that's absolutely. I just learned the other day, I have a wonderful friend, Goph, who is an artist, an amazing metalsmith, like gosh, I could only dream to be at his level someday. And he just taught me how to flush set diamonds.
Oh.
And I'm so excited because I've really wanted to take Aisha to the next level and start making
some precious stones.
Exactly, and one-of-a-kind pieces
Yeah.
that are just incredible. And so I have these pieces in my mind, but until I can do them justice, I haven't made them.
Oh, good. Well, I look forward to the sparkly phase now.
I'm in love with champagne diamonds.
Oh.
Just the sparkle and the, like, I love their coloring and the,
Yeah.
things that are imperfect.
So you have a new studio now,
Mm-hmm.
which is exciting. Can you tell our readers what you've been through and how your new space gives you inspiration?
Yeah, well, let's see. I think it was 9 months ago now. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 32, and I had my studio space in a gorgeous storefront, actually just right around the corner from here. And when all of that came crashing to a halt, initially I thought, oh, I'll just go have a mastectomy. I'll be back in 2 weeks. My orders will have to wait, but then I'll be right back up. I had no idea what I was in for. It ended up being a really long process. I had a bilateral mastectomy in the end of June, and the cancer was much more invasive than they had originally thought. So I ended up having to have a port put in, and I did 4 rounds of very intensive chemotherapy, and then now I'll have, I continue to get infusions of my main drug for the rest of the year. But that being said, while all that was happening, I just had to close Aisha down and put her aside. I realized that I probably could have had someone come in to make my orders for me, but I love that I make each piece, and I love that
It's who you are.
Exactly, and I wouldn't want the quality of my product to suffer. So I just was on lockdown for a little bit and was with my family and healing, and when it was time to open this shop back up, I realized that my priorities had shifted from the experience that I'd been through, and I'm a mother of 2 young children, and I didn't get to see them as much as I wanted to before because I had this drive and this passion for my business. So my husband, who is a saint and so talented,
Of course, as are you.
and he built me a gorgeous backyard studio. And so I have this freestanding, amazing art studio in our backyard with huge vaulted ceilings and windows galore. And I am able to create my work in my yard while I watch my children swing and our chickens run around.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it, and it allows me more freedom.
Yeah, and it's neat too because, I mean, I've watched you through the cancer and you've just done such an amazing job just holding your head up. And I do have to tell you, I've been touched by the volumes of people that have just such love for you, which is very inspiring. But I love that the studio now is going to be representing this new phase for you. And
Absolutely.
I think what's going to come out of it is going to be amazing work.
Thank you.
Well, I think time will tell. We'll all get to benefit from it. So as you know, with the 595 project, I have this focus on interesting and unusual pieces for the home, jewelry and art and furniture, and I love what the 595 project means to me, and it's been really fun to see you in the showroom because you have just a guttural enthusiasm for the pieces that speak to you. It's just, you're like a little kid, which I love. But does vintage design inspire you in any way?
Absolutely.
In any of your work, do you ever go back to some of the funky old jewelry pieces and go, oh, what, that is a cool idea, I'm going to bounce off of that?
You know, vintage design absolutely inspires me, and I wouldn't say vintage jewelry. I have a hard time, we're all inspired by everything, literally, that we encounter in life, and I really try not to look at other jewelry very often because I feel like sometimes something might come to me that I think is my own idea, but it could be something that I've seen.
Yes.
And so I really try to study shapes and colors in furniture and in artwork and textures and fabrics. So that's where I go for inspiration. And so I actually just recently, for this new collection that I'm doing, It's a series of just really beautiful, clean lines and delicate. And for me, it was inspired by studying Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and was looking through her work and Japanese furniture, and so those are where I draw my inspirations.
Yeah. As a woman in business, how can you tell other new talents what they need to do to stay the course when they just like, oh, I'll never get there? Or how could you guide young artists that want to be an Erin Hasler someday?
For me, one, I think, is to remain true to your own voice and make sure that you have, that someone can look at your work and say very clearly, distinctively, that that is yours, and that you stay true to your own voice in that respect. But also, I think, again, it's really difficult. It's not easy building a business from the ground up. And I think a good friend of mine who I admire, who is also a jewelry designer, once told me that when things seem the absolute worst and you want to throw in the towel, to just keep doing, because you're on the precipice of something changing and making another shift. And that's proven to be true for me in my business.
I agree.
And so I have to remember that, because there are absolutely moments, the feather earrings for Nordstrom's, that fiasco. I mean, there are times when I'm literally in tears when I'm trying to fill these ridiculous orders that I just took on more than I could chew. But you do it. And
that'll be a story you'll tell the kids someday. It's like, oh my gosh, don't ever say feather in front of me or I'll start crying.
Never again. But no, and it's true. You really, and what I love about that is you learn something new about yourself through the process. And, you know, I thought I was so tough just from Aisha and what I had been through and raising my children and my childhood experience. And I think, you know, with every challenge that life presents us, how we choose to respond to it defines us and helps make us a stronger person. And so in my mind, the last few months have been the same. It's something that you take a deep breath, you put your big girl boots on, and
absolutely,
and you go for it.
And you know, our friendship has been really such a cool thing, because again, you know, I just kind of sashayed into Aisha, and just the way you've responded to me and my family, and of course our Nana, who's just, you know, such a dear, our 94-year-old family matriarch that just adores you and, you know, wants to be tattooed just like you. Boy, if I were younger, I'd do that.
I love Nana.
I know, she's so great. So, and you've watched me as I've started with my passion with the 595 project. So, what is your favorite thing about the 595 project and what is going on in the showroom and the online presence of what I'm doing?
Well, it's been such a treat for me. I remember my first time even walking into the showroom, because we had chatted so much about it, but I've never had an opportunity to actually visually see what it was that you were doing. And I think my favorite part about the entire thing is that it's so you. And I adore you. And you're such a unique individual, and you're just amazing and hilarious and gorgeous, and I love and admire you so much. And I can very clearly see you and your tenacity and your spunk in these pieces that you're collecting, and that I adore. And it's like, you know, in your home, you can clearly see that someone fabulous and amazing lives here from all these incredible pieces. And I love that. I obviously respect individuality quite a bit, and you're such a unique individual, and so that's been my favorite part of the 595.
It's going to be fun for our readers too to see your 5 favorite pieces.
Oh, yes.
And I love every one of them that you selected, and I can't wait for all of that to get up so people can see what you've personally found to be like groovy cool from the 595 project.
Oh, so, it was hard to pick just 5.
I know.
Well, the most difficult part.
Thank you. I loved our interview, and you're just pretty rockin' amazing, if I may say so.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
The same.
Mwah. Okay.